All right, so today we're going to talk about some of HubSpot's innovation when it comes to managing projects inside of HubSpot. So let's dive into some of the things that HubSpot's rolled out here recently. So what we're going to cover today is what is this project object? Why does it matter? Who's it for? What's available today? And what do we think is coming next from the documentation that we've seen? This isn't an experiment or a side tool. HubSpot officially launched the project object at Inbound 2025, positioning it as a full CRM object, just like deals, companies, or tickets. And they introduced a native Gantt view alongside it. But just something to note on the side here that the Gantt view does require a Starter Plus plan. So the old way, managing simple project outside of your CRM led to some disconnected tools and data with manual handoffs, and that's no longer the case anymore. Before this, projects usually lived in tools like Asana, Trello, or spreadsheets, and that meant project work was disconnected from customer data, deals, and reporting, creating some friction across teams. The project object brings project management directly into HubSpot, and that means that projects now live alongside deals, contacts, and tickets, all in one connected system. So who is this HubSpot project object built for? Well, HubSpot's been very clear here. Projects is built for go-to-market teams, sales, service, and marketing. It's not trying to replace advanced product roadmap tools or really sophisticated project management tools, but instead supports delivery and execution tied to customer work. What are the top use cases that HubSpot's seen? Well, from early adoption, HubSpot has consistently seen three major use cases emerge: service delivery, marketing campaign execution, and structured sales or account management work. So let's talk about the service delivery use case. Service delivery is by far the most common use case, and that includes customer onboarding, professional services work, especially for partners, and even physical goods or production delivery. About half of active project users today have a service seat. Let's talk about the marketing use case. While HubSpot campaigns already support tasks, teams really want true project management, and projects allows marketers to plan, coordinate, and execute campaigns without leaving HubSpot, reducing a lot of context switching. Let's talk through the sales and account management use case. Sales teams are using projects for structured enterprise motions and account plans, things like upsells, cross-sells, or multi-stakeholder deals that require coordinated task execution. So why projects inside HubSpot? Well, HubSpot heard three consistent reasons that customers wanted projects inside their HubSpot CRM. First, customer data that provides context. Second, teams want a true lead to revenue journey in one system. And third, planning and execution shouldn't have to live in separate tools. So how does it work? Well, at a high level, it's simple. A deal closes, a project starts, and the work is tracked directly inside of HubSpot, which is tied to the customer record. Just a quick reminder that projects is still in beta, and that means that not every core project management feature exists yet, but HubSpot has been very transparent about what's coming next. First of all, let's talk about how do we enable projects. To enable projects, admins need to go into the data model, activate the project's object, and it will immediately appear in your CRM navigation with its own index page. All right, so how do you activate HubSpot projects? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is click on the settings cog up here in HubSpot in the upper right-hand side. And when that loads, you're going to scroll on the left-hand column down underneath the data management section, and then you're going to expand objects, and then you're going to go down here to where it says projects. Now, for me, I've already activated projects, and so this is what the configuration window looks like for projects. But if you have not activated, it's going to look something like this. I'm just going to click on the service object for an example. So when you're here under projects and you see the activate and data model builder, you'll just want to click on this, and it's going to take you to the HubSpot data model builder. Now you can see here in mine that HubSpot projects is already activated. You can see I have 82 properties and some associated objects here. If you have not activated it, it's going to look similar to this courses, listings, or services objects, which I have not activated. When you're ready to activate projects, again, we're just going to imagine courses here as projects since I've already updated or activated projects. You'll click on Activate Object and then Confirm, and it will go ahead and enable that object for you inside of your HubSpot portal. And once you've activated HubSpot Projects, you will see on the left-hand side under your CRM view that we have the projects beta object added here into our view. So what are some of the things that you can do inside of HubSpot Projects today? Well, today you configure pipelines, define project types and statuses, add notes, customize project properties, just like any other HubSpot CRM object. There's a settings page to access it. All you have to do is go to Settings, Objects, Projects, and Manage Project. Here, I'll just walk you through that. So if we click on Settings, we scroll down here underneath Data Management and Objects and Projects, you're going to see where we can configure the project's object. So here's where we can manage our associations and our pipelines and customize our record views and preview our preview customization and our index customization. All that's available here right now. And if you'd like to create custom properties, you can head over here to your properties and just select your project object. And this is where you can add in conditional object depending on your HubSpot tier, groups, and your properties, etc. You also have the ability to have pipelines. The idea is if you have different types of project use cases, you can have a service delivery project or other sorts of projects for marketing campaigns, and you want to adjust what that process looks like for those projects. It's a great way to do that with custom pipelines. And to set up custom pipelines, again, all you have to do is go to the project configuration page under Settings, and you can create your pipelines. And so here I have a couple simple project pipelines built that you can see. So it's easy to add a stage just like you would for deals or for tickets. You can create multiple pipelines right here to manage your projects. Because Projects is a true CRM object, it supports properties, associations, workflows, and reporting, including custom reports that join projects with tasks, deals, or other objects. And so, as you can see here, if we go to build workflows, we can create a workflow, and you will see here that we have the project object here for Pro Plus plans. You have access to workflows. And this is building directly a workflow directly inside the project object. So projects live in the CRM and they appear directly in your CRM view or in your customer success workspace. And HubSpot is actively working to integrate them into Marketing Studio as well. Let's take a look at that. So HubSpot, so we can see here that we have the customer success workspace. And we can see that we have our projects listed right here inside your customer success workspace. We can also see that HubSpot projects are listed here under the CRM view as well. You can automate project creation using workflows. For example, when a deal moves to close one, HubSpot can automatically create the associated project. So let's talk through a real-world use case of how to automate building a project based on a deal closing. So the use case is deal closes and now we have to implement what we sold. Well, there's just a couple workflows that we have to use to build that out. So HubSpot doesn't have a template tool inside of HubSpot projects yet. And that's okay because we can still use workflows to build our own templates out. I'll just show you a really simple way to do that. The first thing I would suggest is just coming over here to HubSpot and let's add a property. And this is going to be a project property called templates. And we're just going to call this templates. And we are going to set this up as a drop-down select. And I'm just going to keep this simple for demo purposes here. Let's just call this template A and template B, and you can add as many of these as you would like. to this, and I'm going to go ahead and create this projects property. Now we have what we need to really create some automated workflows for this. So I'm just going to come over here to workflows, and we are going to build ourselves a folder, and we're going to call this project creation, and open this folder up, and we are going to go ahead and create ourselves a workflow from scratch. And so for this, I am just going to select deal. And from here, I'm just going to say, we are going to set this as we're going to activate this workflow when a deal hits any of our closed won stage. So we're just going to choose a couple of these. Right, so when a deal hits one of these two closed won stages, what we're going to do is build our project. So let's take a look here, and we can create a record, and from here we are going to create a project record, and I'm just going to call this, let's keep this simple here. So I'm just going to put the deal name, and we're going to call this project A, and we'll set our project, our initial pipeline, and we'll put this into our planning stage. And I'm just going to set one more property from this. So we're going to say, well, maybe a couple more properties. We're going to say that this is going to be setting our project template. And we are going to set this to template A. We are also, I think, going to set a start date and our close date. And we will set this days after running. So we're going to set the close date for 90 days after we win this deal, and our start date is going to basically be 1 day after we close this deal. All right, so there's our workflow, and we'll just call this set create project using template A. And now I'm going to create a second workflow, which is going to be a projects workflow that will automatically build our tasks. And so from here, I'm just going to create a workflow from scratch, and we will set this as a project workflow. And for our criteria here, I am just going to use a couple things. One, we are going to say that this is in our new stage of planning, and we are going to say we want to use this project templates. So if it's a project that's in this stage with a template A, and so this is where we can build out our tasks. So if you have a list of tasks for project A, here's where we can build out our tasks that we want to get automatically added to this record. So we're just going to click create task. We're going to call this task 1, and this can be due 3 business days from this date, and we could add our description in here, and then we could add in our task 2, and we'll make this 5 days. So you could build as many tasks into this as you want. You could set the relative date, you could set who they're assigned to, you could add detailed description, and you could have a unique set of these tasks that are automatically generated based on this template that you set. So this is a real easy way to set up templates with associated tasks assigned to them, just using a pair of workflows and a property. So let's talk about some of the things that HubSpot said that are coming. And again, these are roadmap items, so those can change at any single time, but we've heard that there are subtasks coming. We heard that there are status updates coming, dependencies, critical path, templates, and even potentially time tracking and a workload view, which would be tremendously valuable from a project management perspective. So let's talk through just a couple administrative notes for HubSpot projects. Permissions work just like any other CRM object. View-only users can see projects and comment on tasks, while core seats are required to edit and complete work. All right, so just a couple of those admin notes. If you're wanting to adjust permissions, it's exactly the same as managing permissions for any other objects. If you go into your permission sets or individual users, depending on how you manage permissions for your team, if you scroll down here under CRM objects, if you just scroll down, once it's activated, you'll see projects listed out here. And you can manage if folks get to see or view all projects or just their team's projects or just their own. We can also edit or who has the ability to edit projects, if everybody can edit all projects, or if certain team members can only adjust or edit their team's projects or their own personal projects, or none at all, period. And lastly, you can control permissions on who has access to the lead projects. So when HubSpot launched projects, one of the most exciting innovations that came along with this was a interactive Gantt chart view that you can use to manage your projects. So if I head over here to projects and I choose underneath my view, so right here under view, we can select Gantt view. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to view your project timeline. It's going to allow you to adjust those timelines, and this is going to adjust it right on your record itself. So if you make an adjustment here on the timeline, it is updating that record. The other thing that you can do in this view is you can expand out and you can see all of the different tasks and their due dates, their due date range, I should say. You can change those, and again, this updates the task itself. You can extend those, you can shorten it, you can move it, and you can align these wherever they need to go, and it easily allows you to adjust the dates of each and every one of these tasks. And in the records themselves are fully configurable. So we customize this, this project to pull in a quick due date view to see how many days we have left in this anticipated close for this project, and it kind of tracks your timeline here. You can see upcoming activities. You can see we have a number of tasks assigned here. You can see recent activities. Obviously, we have an activity timeline with all of the activities associated with that. And we have a breakdown of our tasks that we can click and manage directly from this project. Assign, manage, adjust the due dates, etc. And this is fully customizable through each one of your team members as well. In addition to your Gantt view, we also have a calendar view, so you can see your projects and show them when their scheduled due date or completion dates are. We also have our board view, which we've had for quite a while now, so you can see your projects inside of a board view or where they're at in their process. And obviously the index view as well. HubSpot is also evaluating how the project's object will eventually replace or rename the legacy service object. Still not sure on how that's going to shake out. So just a quick recap, projects brings delivery, execution, and planning directly into HubSpot, and it's only getting more powerful as this roadmap unfolds. So I'd highly suggest that you start using projects today. And obviously, if you want help enabling or designing this in your HubSpot portal, just reach out to us and be sure to follow along for more practical HubSpot updates and tutorials.